So just last week, I was telling y'all about my stay at this hotel, Casa, right? I'm at this boutique hotel. I didn't tell y'all about I told you about the amenities, but I didn't tell you about the stay in itself, right? So it's a boutique hotel. So apparently boutique means that there's no staff, just vibes. So you walk up to the front desk and what do you see? There's a tablet and there's a sticky note that says, scan here to check in. No hello, no welcome, no drink, no person to take your bag and take you to your room. Nothing like that. Just me and this glitchy screen negotiating like I'm buying a used spaceship, And when it freezes mid-transaction, no, let me get the manager or anything like that. Just the 1-800 number that rings for about 20 minutes before some poor soul in a call center halfway across the world tells me, have you tried rebooting the kiosk? No, sir, I did not come on vacation to work IT support. So I did not know that was in the description when I signed up for this boutique hotel. Apologies if you're offended by the bad accent. But it's not just hotels. I mean, last month I went to a diner where the hostess was an iPad on a stand. Had to seat myself and order by VR code and bust my own damn table, all while paying the 20% service fee. I mean, at that point, just hand me an apron to put me on the payroll. But it's not just hotels. I mean, last month I went to a diner where the hostess was an iPad on a stand. Had to seat myself and order by VR code and bust my own damn table, all while paying the 20% service fee. I mean, at that point, just hand me an apron to put me on the payroll. And somewhere along the way, hospitality became a shell game where customers take your money, vanish the humans, and call it progress. So today we're digging into who killed real service and how do we bring it back. This is Society Breakdown. Peace, and blessings. What is good? This is your boy 7 Inglewood Zone right now in your zone, and this is another episode of The Blackman Show presents Society Breakdown. And today we are pulling back the curtain on how care and service got replaced by algorithms and empty lobbies and what we can actually do about it. Shout out to them Waffle House staff out there who still know you by your first name, call you baby, and know how to fight. Y'all a national treasure. Okay, let's take it back. All right, y'all know the script. Hospitality used to mean something. It was the we got you energy of a hotel concierge remembering you, like, hey, Mr. Johnson, how was the Grand Canyon? A diner waitress that was refilling your coffee before you even asked. A doctor's office where the receptionist notices that you're pale and sweating and gets you service and care immediately. But instead, today, we've traded eye contact for error messages, and they're selling it to us as convenience. But let's call it what it is. It's corporate cost cutting disguised as innovation. So today we're asking 3 hard questions. How did human first service become DIY or die in every industry? Who really benefits when staff are replaced with screens? Spoiler, not you. And how do we vote with our wallets without becoming unpaid employees? I mean, they'll claim that this is what the customers want. Meanwhile, every study shows that people hate this. Next thing you know, they're going to be saying that the patients prefer self-diagnosing using WebMD while somebody's appendix bursts in the waiting room. So as we take a look at the disappearing human touch, let's take a depressing field trip through the service wasteland. So what am I talking about, right? So you've got hotels, you've got restaurants and airlines and healthcare, right? So like, okay, I remember like I was traveling with my wife and we had checked into what was supposed to be a luxury hotel, right? You know, it's not like we do a whole lot of traveling, so don't get it twisted like that. But anyway, when we checked into what was supposed to be a luxury hotel, you know, we splurged a little bit. And the only staff that we saw in the 48 hours was the poor housekeeper who told me that she now cleans 30 rooms a day because they laid off half of her team. The concierge was a ChatGPT powered kiosk that recommended that I visit the local Applebee's. Sir, I did not cross state lines for microwave shrimp, although those dollar margaritas are quite enticing. And then with restaurants, right? I mean, a sit-down restaurant chain near me makes you order, pay, and tip before the food even arrives. So you're basically tipping for potential bad service, like buying a used car sight unseen. And if your steak is overcooked, good luck finding a human to complain to. The manager is just a submit feedback button that goes straight into the void. With airlines, you got places like Spirit and Frontier using less people in front gate staff, so now you got to fight with ChatGPT just to get on the fight instead of fighting with actual people. And them things don't take a break, so you better have your Red Bull at least. And in the healthcare, I remember a time when I went to urgent care, right? Because I broke in my wrist. I was playing football with some guys, and we were doing our thing, and one of my old teammates. Anyway, hate you, Tabby. Getting to the point. But yeah. So I went in there with a broken wrist. It was clearly broken, right? And I had to type my symptoms into an iPad while I'm cradling my arm. And what I noticed was like the tablet couldn't recognize my obvious agony on my face. But you know what did? The other patient that was in the waiting room who got me some help. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the real humans, because you are the real MVP. But for real, what is your most infuriating where's the staff story? A robot concierge, a self-service funeral home? Drop it down below. Best or worst one gets a shout out next week. Now, we gotta follow the money, baby. So let's talk about the real reasons the humans are vanishing, and it ain't labor shortages. Let me just let you know that. Now, it seems like a lot of corporations are playing from the same playbook, right? The profit playbook, where they fire the staff just so they can go digital, right? They replace them with cheaper gig workers for a flexible economy. They pocket the savings and then record the profits. And look, here's an example. McDonald's cut the cashiers to install kiosks, then raise their prices 40% over the past 5 years. So now you pay more to do their job. It's like a dine-in tax for the privilege of being your own cashier. Next thing you know, they're gonna be charging us rent for even standing at the counter. Welcome to McDonald's. That'll be $12 for the Big Mac and $5 a minute for standing at our ordering station. Thank you. And just a quick insider tip, those QR codes, they are not just for ordering. They are tracking how long you stare at the menu, what you hesitate on, even who you're with. Your waiter never needed your location data to bring you napkins, just so you know that. They are using that information to understand your habits, your buying habits, your spending habits, and find other and more innovative ways for you to spend more. You're the product. And all of this is taking us to those, those dystopian, grayscale, sepia tone, drab days. Like this is taking us towards those days where the corporations have taken over and taken all the life out of everything and made us and replaced it with the notion of or the semblance of care. You get something that almost looks and feels like care, but is it really care?
No ma'am. No ma'am.
And ultimately, going humanless fails. It's not a good program, I don't think, for the future or for futuring your systems. Now, if you want to capitalize on your systems, sure, you maximize your profits and you kick out the ladder beneath you and make everything harder to reach, but more enticing to get. Of course, that's what you do. But if you are actually looking to engage with the people and have something for the people that the people can actually use and endure with and through, well, then maybe you ought to change your strategy. I'm just saying. I'm no corporate strategist. I've only worked this one for years, but I'm just saying, if that's something that you're looking to do, then by all means do that, because what the direction a lot of you guys are going right now is not that. Have you seen Hunger Games? Have you seen Blade Runner? Have you seen Tron? Have you seen these movies? Just saying. Have you seen them? None of them look good, and the rules never seem fair. Have you seen The Walking Dead? Seriously, when you start to replace souls with screens, something gets lost in the midst. A kiosk can't see that you're shaking with low blood sugar and need food now, right? I remember a time when I was actually in a line in a Walmart when I was in college, and I just had a sugar spike of some sort, or I really needed to eat something or whatever, and I could just feel my whole body just really go weak. And it was the weirdest feeling. I'd never had anything like that in my life, never since. But it was just the weirdest feeling. I still remember it. And, I can only imagine how something like that could be interpreted by a machine if I were to have to try to punch that. Like, I'm experiencing it right now, and I have to try to punch that I'm typing it out as it's happening. or do I have to hope that it can pick up my faint as I'm going down to the ground? What happens in that sort of situation? You know what I'm saying? Am I supposed to have a life alert bracelet? I was 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had no previous or suspicions or need to have anything like that. So should I have had that? Like what would have happened if I were 20 now and something like that were to take place? Like, what would be my resolution? Like, when you go to a hotel tablet is not going to notice the creepy guy that's following you to your room. Humans can catch what algorithms will miss. And look, I don't know if you've ever tried yelling at a chatbot, but it just loops you back to, I didn't understand that. Meanwhile, Karens in person get free meals because actual managers want them to go. You don't get that from a chatbot. They just be like, oh yeah, I got time. Say it again. That's fine. I don't get paid and I don't get tired. Let's go. I'm Kevin Gates. And seriously, nurses catch seizures before monitors do. Bartenders cut off dangerous drunks. But a smart system, it'll just keep serving margaritas until somebody face plants into the guacamole. And that is no way to celebrate your birthday, mama. And look, I joke and mess around and all that stuff, and I'm doing a lot of, relaying and messaging, talking about stories and different things that relate to me, family and friends and stuff like that, because these are real things that have impacted me and impacted them, and stuff that I'm hoping that can help them and help us and help y'all and help people like y'all along the way. Because you have to understand that these things do impact us. You know what I'm saying? It does impact us when we don't have that human touch, when we don't have that human connection, when we don't have somebody there to say, what's wrong? Are you okay? You seem sad. What's wrong? Are you all right? Just to look at you and see that, just to see that, because we're moving to a space where that's becoming few and far between. People got their heads down so much they don't even know how to react and how to respond to people when they actually see them face to face. People respond better to your face in a phone than they do to your face when they see it in person. It's possible that things can turn around, right? It's possible we can be better. I'm hopeful that we can, and I'm looking forward to us making positive steps so that the next generation of us will not subtract care in their capitalism model. Like, hey, go ahead, seek, go for the stars and seek all the profits that you need to seek. However, space, you still need to give a crap about the people, because once people realize you don't give a crap about them, well, then they're not gonna get engaged with the thing that you're trying to sell them anymore. So, there's that. Now, you could get to a point where you have a monopoly and that you have no choice. But even then, sometimes people say, you know what, screw it, I'll just do without. So, you're gambling. You're gambling when you're doing that. I digress. Speaking about family and all that stuff, right? I got a friend's grandma who got overdosed at a digital pharmacy because the automated system glitched, right? The pharmacist, the human one, caught it at the last minute. Machines fail. People fail too, but people can save as well. A machine can be programmed to fail. Do you understand that? So a machine can continually point out and push out the same wrong information and have you saying, well, the machine said it, and so it must be right. And that's why I encourage you and all listeners and people who are watching to know things. That's one of those resounding themes that you're going to catch on this show. Know things, because when you know things, when people try to tell you you don't know things, you can refute what they're saying because you know things. But people sometimes people can supersede the machine, considering the people are the programmers of the machines, right? But look, we got to fight back, and we got to find a way to do it without becoming the unpaid help. So we do that by supporting human-centered spots, right? Just seek out diners where the waitress actually knows and remembers your name. How about that? Hey, how you doing, Charles? How you doing, James? You know what I'm saying? Hey, go to those places where everybody knows you. And rest in peace to George Wendt. Da Bears. Go where there are places where there are bodies who know people, where people engage with people. That's another thing, Go to hotels with actual front desks where you can talk to people when there's an issue. Because last thing you want to have to do is call to concierge at 3:00 in the morning because somebody or something is at your front door and they telling you got to send an email. Don't nobody want to have to deal with that. Go to stores where the staff know the inventory. Go and you know what? Tip them in cash so that way the corporations can't skim it. They need that money. They need it more than the corporations do. Trust me, they do. And then you can demand human options. Hey, I need a real key, not an app that drains my battery for my hotel, all right? I'll order from a person or I'll leave at this restaurant. Wherever you go, money talks. If they don't want the money, then walk the hell out. You ain't got to deal with it if you don't want to. Now, I understand we're always looking for convenience, but you don't have to deal with convenience if the convenience is going to make you feel like less than a person, or make you feel like you're getting lesser service. Because it's the service part about service is getting the service. You're not really getting service if a machine is doing it. It's not really doing service. It's doing a job. It's not providing a service. I don't think, y'all let me know down in the comments, is providing a service the same as doing a job? I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not trying to be vulgar in any sort of way, so y'all keep your minds up the gut. You know who you are. I'm just saying, y'all let me know what you think about that. But getting back on track, another thing that you could do is make noise publicly. I talk about this all the time. Companies ignore emails, but they will panic over viral tweets. Marriott, why does your contactless check-in require me calling Bangladesh to do so? Huh? 1 star. Had to teach the kiosk how to check me in. And of course, the doors to the TikTok Church of Shame are always open. So let's look at this thing, y'all. Automation should assist humans, right? Not erase them. You're not old school just because you want to have service. You are a paying customer, and I don't care what you want. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't want no smoke. And look, the best tech frees people to be more human, not less. You dig? I mean, they'll call this progress, but real progress doesn't leave grandmamas stranded in ERs or travelers locked out of rooms because an app crashed or because somebody don't want to answer the phone, Casa. Sorry. Still dealing with some issues, y'all. My bad. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and holler at your boy next week when we're exposing the retail apocalypse and how stores are vanishing and taking the last shreds of human connection with them. Until then, tip your waiters in cash, complain loudly when service sucks, and never let a corporation convince you that less is more. As always, this has been your boy 7 Blackman, and this has been another episode of The Blackman Show presents Society Breakdown. And y'all take care of each other until next time, all right? Peace. And I'm out. And I got to apologize to you guys this week for this episode. I had it all laid out and everything, and then we had this stuff going on. I wish you could see everything that's like right in front of me, just on the other side of the camera and all this stuff. So like we've had this plumbing issue that just popped up. Emergency plumbing work need to be done, so everything is all moved out and we got dust everywhere and all that. So I'm a little scattered. So I apologize if this may not have come across as the best delivery this time around. But hopefully you all can get the gist of what it is that I was meaning in the episode. Just that as corporations are growing and increasing their capitalization models, they are doing so by reducing labor and labor costs. The biggest cost for most corporations is labor. So if they reduce the labor costs, and they're almost moving at they have much less debt as they continue to increase their profits for their shareholders. And I'm basically posing a question: with all of this technical advancement, all of these corporate profits going through the roof, all of these record numbers here, there, left and right and all that stuff, what is the real benefit if you're losing the human element at the end of the day? You know, that, like, hate to go to the Bible, but that's what it says. I mean, what does it profit to gain the world but lose your soul? It's like, what does it profit to have all of the riches that you want, but you don't know how to relate to your common man? I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of people be on some F people stuff, but but for everybody else, if that did not come across this week, I apologize. I will do better next week. I'll let you boy.